Hello students, in previous class we already discussed about what is self-induction, what is mutual induction and what is self-inductance of a coil and what is mutual inductance of a pair of coils. Clear? So today we are going to discuss some numericals based upon this. So before that, let's revise the concept of self-induction. What is self-induction? When here is a coil in which current I is flowing or starts flowing, that means the current I varies from 0 to maximum I naught, then there will be an induced EMF produced within the unit due to a property of this coil only, that is known as self-induction, which is defined as L equal to phi by I, the flux linked for unit change in current, or also we can write L equal to the induced EMF divided by the rate of change of current decrease. Clear? Similarly, if there are two coils which are placed close to each other and one coil which carries current is known as IS, this is known as IP, this is known as primary coil, and the one which is placed near to it, this is known as secondary coil, in which an EMF is induced to oppose this change in current within the primary coil. So the flux linked with the secondary will be some constant M into current flowing through the primary, or this can also be written as the flux linked to the primary will be the some constant M into current flowing through the secondary, and this M is a bidirectional coefficient which is known as mutual inductance of both the coils. Clear? Okay, and what is the value of M? M equal to phi S by IP, or this can be the induced EMF in secondary equal to minus M into the change in current in primary with respect to time, or vice versa. Clear? So this we already studied about this, and based upon this concept today we are going to discuss some numericals. And we already know that the self-inductance or mutual inductance have same unit and dimension, that is Henry in SI unit, and dimension M1 L2 T minus 2 A minus 2. And if we are trying to pass some current through a inductor or coil or solenoid, we have to do some external work, and that work is stored within the inductor as potential magnetic energy, which is known, whose value is usually half L I naught square. I naught is the maximum value of current passing through it. So the first example 1, there is an inductor okay having self inductance L equal to 1 millihenry. Okay, self inductance of this inductor is 1 millihenry. The current in the inductor changes from 5 ampere to 1 ampere in 2 seconds. Okay, the current in the inductor which having self inductance 1 millihenry, it changes from 5 ampere to 1 ampere in 2 seconds. Then find induced EMF in it. So what is the value of induced EMF in it? So here we know the current, initially the current I1 is 5 ampere and finally the current I2 will be 1 ampere. So let initial time T1 equal to 0, and after 2 seconds the current will be this much, the final time T2 equal to 2 seconds. Okay, so from this we can write the induced EMF E will be equal to how much? Minus L into di by dt, or this can be written as the induced EMF E equal to minus L. L is the self inductance into I2 minus I1 by T2 minus T1. So this implies induced EMF E will be equal to, what is L? 1 millihenry, that means 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 Henry into I2, what is I2? 1 ampere minus what is I1? 5 ampere divided by time 2 seconds. So this will be how much? This is 1 minus 5, there will be another minus this one. So 1 minus 5 will be minus 4 into minus will be 4. So 4 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 2. So this implies the induced EMF equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 volt. This negative sign indicates what? This induced EMF always tries to oppose the external current change within it. Clear? So as here I2 minus I1 will be minus 4 and here is an negative sign already there. So minus 4 into minus will be plus 4. So this will be 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 volt. Clear? Similarly, if there is two coils, okay, this is a coil which is known as primary and another coil is close to it which is known as secondary. Okay, the current in primary changes from 4 ampere to 0 ampere in 4 seconds, due to which an EMF of 10 millivolt is induced in the secondary coil. Then find the mutual inductance of the coils. Okay, so this will be example 2. So in this example 2, there are two coils, one is primary and one is secondary. In primary, the current IP is changing from 4 ampere to 0 ampere in 4 seconds, due to which the flux linked with the secondary coil will change. And according to Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, it will produce an induced EMF due to change in flux. And as there are two pairs of coil, due to which the current change in one will able to induce the EMF in other, and that induced EMF always tries to oppose the change in current in the primary coil. There will be a property that is known as mutual induction, due to which there is a coefficient which relates the flux change in secondary with the current change in primary, that is known as mutual inductance, which is M. And we know what is M. The mutual inductance of both the coil is a bidirectional coefficient which is relate both the coils, and that will be E equal to the induced EMF divided by the rate of change of current, decrease in rate of change of current, or this is the relation between induced EMF and mutual inductance of both the coils, and the rate of decrease in current through any one of the coil. Clear? So from this relation here we can get what is di by dt equal to I2 minus I1 divided by T2 minus T1. What is I2? That is 0 minus I1 is 4 divided by what is T2 in 4 seconds, that is 4 minus 0. So it will be minus 1. Clear? Which is equal to di by dt. So the mutual inductance of both the coils M will be the induced EMF. What is the value of induced EMF? 10 millivolt. That means 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 volt divided by minus di by dt. Di by dt is minus 1. So minus of minus will be 1. So the mutual inductance will be 10 into 10 to the power minus 3, unit is Henry. Or this can be written as 10 millihenry. So this will be the expression for mutual inductance of both the coil. So if the current change in primary will be this, or same current will change in secondary, due to which 10 millivolt of induced EMF is produced in primary. Thus mutual inductance of both the coil will remain same because it is a bidirectional coefficient. Clear? So this is how we can find out the coefficient of mutual induction or mutual inductance for two coils or a pair of coils due to change in current in one, for which the flux will change in the another. Okay. Okay, next question. If a closed packed coil of 400 tons have self-inductance L equal to 8 millihenry, in which current I equal to 2 ampere is allowed to flow, then find the flux linked with 1 ton of the coil. Okay. So a closed packed coil of 400 tons have self-inductance L equal to 8 millihenry, in which current I equal to 2 ampere is allowed to flow. Then find the flux linked with 1 ton of the coil. So as we know, the flux linked with a coil will be equal to phi equal to L into I. L is the self-inductance, I is the current flowing through the coil. So from this we will get this implies the flux linked with the complete coil will be phi equal to L. Self-inductance will be how much? 8 into 10 to the power minus 3, or this is millihenry. So it will be 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 Henry into current is how much? 2 ampere into 2. So the flux linked with complete coil will be 16 into 10 to the power minus 3 Weber. But we have to find out the flux linked with 1 ton of the coil. So this will be the flux linked with 400 tons of the coil, because 8 millihenry is the self-inductance of the complete coil. So the flux linked with 1 ton is phi 1 will be equal to how much? Phi divided by total number of tons. So this implies 16 into 10 to the minus 3 divided by 400. So this implies 5 due to 1 ton will be, this will be how much? 4 into 10 to the minus 5 Weber. Clear? This will be 4 will cancel 4, it will come to here, so it will be 10 to the minus 5. So the flux linked with 1 ton of the coil will be 4 into 10 to the minus 5 Weber, and this is the flux linked with the complete coil of 400 tons. Clear? So next question, a solenoid of length 100 centimeter have self-inductance 1 millihenry. Clear? A solenoid of length 100 centimeter have self-inductance 1 millihenry. If the radius of the solenoid is negligible, in comparison to its length, then find the total length of the thin wire of which the solenoid is made. Okay, a solenoid of length 100 centimeter have self inductance L equal to 1 millihenry. If the radius of the solenoid is negligible in comparison to its length, then find the total length of the thin wire of which the solenoid is made up. That means a thin wire is converted into a solenoid of length 100 centimeter which have mutual inductance L equal to 1 millihenry, and that's solenoid's radius is very negligible in comparison to its length. Then what will be the total length of the wire, thin wire, which is used to make that solenoid? Clear? So how we can calculate the total length of the thin wire which is used to make the solenoid? So here, how to calculate this? So as we know, the self inductance of a solenoid will be how much? L equal to mu naught n square into volume of the solenoid. We already discussed about what is n square, number of turns per unit length, or this can be written as the self inductance of a solenoid L equal to mu naught n square can be written as total number of turns divided by length of the solenoid, that is let L naught square. Clear? Into volume will be area, that is pi r square into length L naught. So this can be written as the self inductance L equal to mu naught n square pi r square divided by L naught, where n equal to total number of turns, L naught equal to length of solenoid, and r equal to radius of solenoid. Clear? So this is the expression for self inductance. So from this we will get the total turn, capital N will be equal to how much? The total number of turns of the solenoid, capital N, will be 2 pi r, or the total length of the wire, here the thin wire which made the solenoid. So the length L, small l, be the length of the wire. So this implies the complete length of the wire, small l, will be equal to what? The total number of turns of which the solenoid is made up into the length of a single turn, that is 2 pi r, as r is the radius of the solenoid. So for a complete turn, the length of the wire used is 2 pi r, and there are total n number of turns. So n into 2 pi r will be what? The length of the total wire which is used to make that solenoid. So from this we will get the total number of turns of the solenoid, n will be equal to L divided by 2 pi r. So this is the value of total number of turns, and this is L, which is the total length of the thin wire used. So by using this n here, we will get what? The self inductance of the solenoid, L is equal to mu naught, in place of n I can write L square pi r square divided by, below in place of n it will be L square by 2 pi r square, so 4 pi square r square into L naught. Clear? So here r square will get cancelled, 1 pi will get cancelled. So from this we will get the value of total length of the solenoid, small l, will be equal to 4 pi L naught into L divided by mu naught, clear, root over. This is the expression for what? The total length of the thin wire which is used to make that solenoid. We already know what is L naught. Here L naught is 100 centimeter. What is L? 1 millihenry. Mu naught we already know that is 4 pi into 10 to the minus 7. So from this we will get this implies the length of the solenoid will be 4 pi into L naught will be 100 centimeter, that is 1 meter, into L is 1 millihenry, that is 10 to the minus 3 henry, divided by mu naught is how much, 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 under root. So 4 pi will get cancelled, so it will be 10 to the minus 3 on 10 will be 10 to the power 4. So this will be written as so this will become how much, if we take 10 to the minus 7 off here, so it will be 10 to the minus 3 into 10 to the power 7 under root. So this will be 10 to the power 2. Clear? What is 10 to the power 2? Meter. That means the length L of the thin wire which is used to make that solenoid is 100 meter. Clear? This is the answer to this question, that the length of the thin wire which is used to make that solenoid which is of length 100 centimeter and have self inductance 1 millihenry, and the radius of the solenoid is negligible in comparison to its length, have a length 100 meter, or this can be written as 0.1 kilometer. Okay, clear? So next, understand? So next we are going to discuss another question. Here is a circular coil. Okay. And radius of this coil is R1, and there is another coil within it, and its radius is R2. Clear? And current I1 is allowed to flowing through this external coil of radius R1. So now find the coefficient of mutual inductance for these coils. Okay, there are two concentric circular coil of radius R1 and R2. Current I is flowing through the external coil of radius R1. So what will be the value of mutual inductance for these two coils? So as here we can write the flux, as current is flowing through the radius of R1, let it be coil 1, this will be coil 2. So current is flowing through the coil 1. So for mutual inductance, we can write the flux linked to the second coil will be equal to mutual inductance into current flowing through the first coil. So from this implies what is the flux linked to the second coil due to this here, provided R2 is very negligible in comparison to R1. That means the radius of the inner circular loop or coil is very negligible in comparison to R1. So the magnetic field at this point will be how much? B due to 1 at 2 will be mu naught I1 divided by 2 radius, this is R1. This is the value of magnetic field linked due to 1 at 2. So the flux linked with 2 will be B12 into area of the second coil 2. So this implies you can write what is the flux linked with 2. It will be mu naught I1 divided by 2 R1 into pi R1 square, sorry R2 square. Area of the second coil, that this much area, that will pi R2 square. So magnetic field strength at this point center of this circular loop, because R2 is very negligible in comparison to R1, that's why we are considering the magnetic field all over this circular loop is uniform, which is equal to mu naught I by 2R1. Clear? So mu naught I1 by 2R1 will be the magnetic field at each and every point of the small circular ring of radius R2. So the flux linked with this ring will be magnetic field into area of the ring, that is pi R2 square. But we know phi 2 equal to m into I1. So comparing these two, we will get the mutual inductance of both the coils will be mu naught pi R2 square divided by 2 R1. This is the expression for mutual inductance of these two coils, and this is a bidirectional coefficient. That means if we are applying current I1 to flow through this second coil and we have to calculate the flux linked with the first coil, then also the mutual inductance will be this much. Clear? Okay. So next question, there is a ideal solenoid. Okay, placed like this, and the radius of this solenoid is small r. Clear? And here at the middle or somewhere here there is a circular ring which is present like this. Okay, that means the solenoid, this solenoid is passing through this circular ring, and the radius of this circular ring is capital R, and it is n number of turns. Clear? So there is an ideal solenoid of radius small r, this carries current I. Okay, and at the middle of this solenoid there is a circular ring of n turns of radius r, within which is surrounded this solenoid, or this solenoid is passing through the center of this circular ring. Clear? This is the system given. So now we have to find mutual inductance of the system. Clear? So here a ideal solenoid is placed which carries current I and have radius small r, and this ideal solenoid is passing through the center of a large circular ring of radius capital R and having total n number of turns. So what will be the mutual inductance for these two coils of this system? So we know as the current is flowing through this ideal solenoid, so due to this current, what will the flux linked to this secondary or this larger coil? If I am taking the view from the left hand side, the top view, it will be like this. If this is the circular coil of radius R, and this is the region within which the solenoid is passing, this radius is small r, this is the region within which the solenoid is passing through the coil. So what is the magnetic field linked with this coil, or the flux linked with the larger ring of radius r due to this solenoid? We know if solenoid is carrying current I, what is the magnetic field produced by the solenoid? Bs will be mu naught n into I. Clear? N is the number of turns per unit length, I is the current flowing through it. So this is the magnetic field Bs produced like this, or at each position within the solenoid will be this much. So here this is the region within which the solenoid is passing. So the magnetic field over this region will be how much? Mu naught Ni. And this is the region within which the magnetic field is linked. So what is the total flux? Phi, or the flux linked with the coil, will be B into A. Clear? What is A? Here A is not the area of the complete ring, because A here is the area of the portion of the ring within which the magnetic field is linked, because in calculation of flux the area A is the region or portion of the ring which is linked with the magnetic field. So for this complete ring, this will be the region or area which is linked with the magnetic field. So flux linked with 1 ton of the larger ring will be how much? B will be mu naught Ni into area will be pi r square, because this is the radius of the solenoid and this will be the area within which the solenoid is passing. So this will be the flux linked with 1 ton of the larger ring. So the total phi net will be how much? Mu naught N I pi r square into capital N. This will be the net flux linked with the larger ring. So from self inductance we will get the flux linked with the larger ring R will be equal to mutual inductance into current flowing through the solenoid Is. So this implies we can write mu naught N I pi r square into N equal to M into I. I is the current flowing through the solenoid. So I will get cancelled. So the mutual inductance of the system will be mu naught N into capital N pi r square. This will be the expression for what? The mutual inductance of the system. Okay, clear? So in next question, here is a circular coil of radius capital R and coaxially at a distance x there is another coil of radius small r. Clear? And here provided capital R is larger than small r and x is very larger than capital R. Clear? This is the condition given here. Then here is a circular ring of radius capital R and at a distance x from the center O of this ring to the center O dash x there is a small ring of radius small r and the capital R is very large than small r, that we can negligible the small r in comparison to capital R, and also the x is very larger in comparison to capital R. Clear? So now we have to find out what? The mutual inductance. Find mutual inductance of the system. So we have to find out the mutual inductance of the system. That is, what is mutual inductance? If there are two coils, let this is be secondary, this is primary. So you can write the flux linked with the secondary is equal to mutual inductance into current through the primary, or this can also be written as the flux linked with the primary will be equal to mutual inductance into current through the secondary. Clear? So here it will be easy to calculate the flux linked with the primary due to current flowing through the secondary, because the condition, as the condition says, R is very negligible in comparison to R. So the magnetic field strength due to this ring at each and every point of the small ring will be same. So we can easily calculate the flux linked with this ring, as mutual inductance is a bidirectional coefficient. So it will be same for this and this expression. So for this we have to calculate this one, because it is easy to calculate the flux linked with the secondary due to current flowing, primary due to current flowing through the secondary coil. Clear? So if current I is allowed to flow through this secondary coil, what is the magnetic field at the point O dash, which is at a distance x from its center? As we already know, the magnetic field due to secondary at point O dash will be how much? We already know this is an axial point of this circular current carrying ring. So the magnetic field will be mu naught current flowing through I, radius of the coil will be r square divided by 2 into r square plus distance from the center will be x square to the power 3 by 2. So this will be the expression for magnetic field at point O dash due to this. So what is the flux linked with this small circular ring of radius r? So the flux linked with primary will be mu naught I r square divided by 2 into r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 into area of this ring will be pi small r square. Clear? So this is the flux linked with the primary. And as the relation shows, flux linked to the primary equal to M into Is. I is the current flowing through the secondary. So this implies what is the mutual inductance of the system. By comparing 1 and 2, we will get M equal to mu naught R square pi R square divided 2 into R square plus X square to the power 3 by 2. This is the value of mutual inductance of the system. Same thing will be obtained if we allow to current I flow through this primary coil and calculate the flux linked with this. Clear? So the mutual inductance of the system will be this much. Okay? And its sub-unit Henry. Okay, now do another example. A current I equal to 2 sin t square ampere is passing through an inductor of inductance L equal to 2 Henry. Okay, a current I equal to 2 sin t square ampere is passing through an inductor of inductance 2 Henry, which is increases with respect to time. With respect to time. Then find the energy spent by changing the current through the inductor in the time interval from 0 ampere to 2 ampere. Clear? So a current which is increases with respect to time, that is t, the I is represented as 2 sin t square ampere, is passing through an inductor of inductance is given, that is 2 Henry. This is the current which is passing through the inductor, and due which is increased with respect to time. Then find the energy spent by changing the current through the inductor in the time interval from 0 ampere to 2 ampere. So the time interval in which the current is changing from 0 ampere to 2 ampere within the inductor of inductance 2 Henry, and the current is varies with respect to time as 2 sin t square. We have to calculate the energy spent by increasing the current from 0 to 2 ampere. So what will be the time spent when the current within the inductor will be 2 ampere? As we already know, the amount of external work done by passing a current through an inductor will be stored within as the energy, magnetic energy, and that energy U equal to half L I square. I is the value of current, L is the self inductance. So from this, and this energy stored within the inductor will be the energy spent by the external source. So here the question is, what is the energy spent by changing the current from through the inductor from 0 ampere to 2 ampere. So here we can write the energy spent will be equal to the amount of energy stored in the inductor, that is half, what is L, that is 2, and what is the value of current, that is 2 ampere, so it will be 4. So the energy will be U equal to 4 joule. And this much amount of energy will be spent by the external agent to change the current from 0 ampere to 2 ampere. Clear? Because this the energy spent by the external agent to flow the current or increase the current in the time interval that required by the source of the current, because current is a function of time, from 0 ampere to 2 ampere will be how much? This much will be the energy spent by the source to allow the current from 0 ampere to 2 ampere to flow within the inductor. Clear? So this energy is also the energy stored within the inductor as magnetic energy. Okay. So next question, there is a horizontal magnetic field. The strength of the magnetic field is B naught. Okay, within which there is a coil which is in shape of a equilateral triangle. Okay, each side is A. Okay, this is an equilateral triangle of side A, and this equilateral triangle is rotating about an axis XY. Like this, anti-clockwise. So find the value of maximum induced EMF in the coil. Clear? So what is the value of maximum induced EMF in the coil? There is a external magnetic field which is uniform and its magnitude is B naught, which is acting horizontally, and within it a equilateral triangular shaped coil is placed of side A, which is rotating with angular velocity omega. Then what will be the maximum induced EMF in the coil? So as we already know, the expression for the induced EMF in a rotating coil in an external magnetic field is E equal to E naught sin omega t, and where E naught equal to total number of turns into external magnetic field strength, area of the coil, into omega, the angular velocity. Here as there is only one turn, so N will be how much? 1. B naught is given as B naught, and area we can calculate, and omega is also given. So the E maximum or peak value of the induced EMF will be N will be 1, B naught omega into what is area of a equilateral triangle of side A. The area of the equilateral triangle of side A we already know that will be root 3 by 4 A square. So E naught will be root 3 by 4 A square. So this means the maximum value of induced EMF will be root 3 by 4 B naught omega A square. This is the expression for maximum or peak induced value when a equilateral triangular shaped coil is rotating in an external magnetic field of strength B naught about an axis. Let the name of this axis will be XY with angular velocity omega. This much volt will be what? The induced EMF within the maximum value of the induced EMF within the triangular shaped coil. Okay. So next, same as that of the previous question, there is an external magnetic field having strength B naught, in which a circular coil of radius small r is rotating about its diameter with and frequency is given as 50 hertz. Okay, there is a circular coil of radius r which is rotating about its diameter like this with frequency 50 hertz. Clear? So now we earn the total number of turns. N equal to total number of turns of the coil. So at an instant when the angle between B naught vector and the area vector of the coil is 60 degree, find the induced EMF in the coil. Clear? So N equal to total number of turns of the coil and the radius of the circular coil is R, which is rotating about a diameter of the coil with frequency 50 Hz. The strength of the external magnetic field is acting horizontally, that is B naught. So we have to calculate at an instant when the angle between magnetic field strength and area vector of the coil is 60 degree. Clear? When the angle between B and A vector of the coil is 60 degree, find the induced EMF in the coil. So as we already discussed that when a coil is rotating in an external magnetic field, the value of induced EMF equal to E naught sin omega t. Clear? So what is E naught? E naught here, E naught can be N B A omega sin omega t will be the instantaneous value of the induced EMF at any instant t. So here omega t will be given as how much? 60 degree, or this is pi by 3, and total number of turns is given as n. The B will be given as B naught. Area of the circular will be how much? Pi r square, and omega will be how much? The frequency is given as f, so omega equal to 2 pi f, that is 100 pi, because f is 50, so 100 pi. So putting all this value, the instantaneous value of induced EMF will be n B naught pi r square. In place of omega it will be 100 pi into sin pi by 3. So it will be n B naught pi square r square into 100. What is the sin 60? It will be root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2. So the instantaneous induced EMF will be 50 root 3 n B naught pi square r square volt. This is the expression for instantaneous induced EMF within the circular coil which is rotating with a frequency of 50 Hz. Clear? So this is the expression for 50 root 3 n B naught pi square r square volt will be the value of induced EMF within this circular coil at an instant when the area vector and magnetic field vector are making an angle 60 degree with each other. Clear? And this is the expression for instantaneous EMF. Clear? Where n is the total number of turns of the coil, B is the external magnetic field strength, A is the area, and omega is the angular velocity, which is equal to 2 pi into frequency of the coil. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the induced EMF produced due to the orientation of a coil in an external magnetic field. Clear? And how we can use the concepts of self-inductance, mutual inductance to find out or to solve some numericals. You have to remember the formulas and concepts to solve further numericals. Okay, thank you.